Alright, hey guys and gals, I'm going to show you how to set up saving scenes for in-ear monitor mixes only, and only recalling those and not changing anything else on an Avantis Allen and Heath board. Can't talk this morning. So I'm going to fire up Director here. I've actually already got it running. This is how it loads up by default. And what I'm going to do is just set up some simple channels for simulation purposes. Again, most of your boards are already probably set up. I know our board at our church is already set up, so um, let's do aux 1 and 2 for in-ear monitor mixes, and then a main over here. So this is going to be really handy if you've got multiple different band members coming in and out, things like that, on any given week, whether it's a church or you're mixing a live event. So the first thing I want to do is come down here and I want to set the board up. So we're on the main mix. We're just going to set some levels like you're running the board. Hopefully your gains are good to where you're running in unity or close to it, so you have some adjustment, which is always a good rule of thumb. I'm going to set up some really whacked out EQs just for visualization purposes. We'll do the opposite here. And this one we're just going to do, oops, wrong one, that one, and this one down here. Okay, so that's all the main mix. Let's change the gains. And yeah, we'll just leave everything else where it is for now. So, first off, I know at our church we have them labeled as mix 1 and mix 2. So we'll close that out. Alright, mix 1, let's say that we're going to do some clipping here, and we're going to filter out some 1.5 2K range, because for piercing stuff, whatever. This one we'll do the same thing, but this guy really likes his ears to bleed, so we'll do that. Alright, and then let's go to mix settings here, and this person is going to run 1 and 2 in unity, and these guys down at -20. Alright, mix 2 is going to run these front guys at -20 and these guys at unity, completely opposite of the other guy. Alright, so this is how you'd be running the board on a Sunday morning, right? Or whatever you're doing. So everybody says that serving is like, man, I love my in-ear mix. It was great. It was clear. Awesome. So let's save that so we can come back to it at a later date. So I'm just going to go to 10 here, for example. And first off is going to be, let's say I'm on, so Nate's IEM pack 1. And it is very important to label these pack numbers or mix numbers. So if you want to engineer brain in me, mix 1, make everything match. Okay, so there's no confusion. And let's say this guy, sorry, John's IEM mix 2. Okay? And what we're going to do is I'm going to, the real power behind this. So again, this is not, we're not saving a scene to recall the whole board. This is to recall an in-ear monitor mix to get us 90 to 95% there, whoever that person is on any given week. Especially if people are playing several weeks a month and then maybe have somebody different come in that is completely polar opposite. You don't want to be wasting time on Thursdays or on rehearsal nights adjusting your mixes. It's just a waste of time, it's inefficient, and it's frustrating for the volunteers at times. So what you can do is come to this recall filter. This recall filter is local to each scene. It is not a global recall list, okay? So let's set this recall filter up. And what I want to do is this is opposite thinking of normal. So normally you would want to save, ideally, an aux channel like you would an individual input channel. But because the aux is technically an output, in this situation for mixing, in-ear mixes, you can't do that. The board's not going to let you. It's going to cause some problems. But What we can do is think about scene saving in a completely different way and look at it reverse. So what we're going to do is actually going to block everything on for mix 1. And then we're going to come in and select mixes. We're going to expand auxes. Okay, so this is obviously, it shows what I've renamed them as. And I'm going to unblock everything for that mix only. And then the only thing I want to do, and this is just more of an example for our church, is I want to keep the inputs unblocked. So this is all my input levels across the board. I want to leave that unblocked, so that's what I want to recall. But the other routing, I don't need. I'm good to go on all that other stuff, right? So this is how your board would look for that. Okay, hit apply. Now that filter is saved. Now I can do the same thing here for mix 2. Block everything, unblock mix 2, block these back out for the routing, keeping the inputs open, apply. Okay? Now, again, the board, like we talked about before, the board is set to everyone was happy, okay, and Nate was on, and John was on, and Susie was on, and whoever else, right? So all I'm going to do, I'm not going to touch the board. I'm just going to go to store, store. So now this has stored this board and my intermixes. But remember, when we recall this at a later date, it is only going to recall the mix that I've allowed in the recall. So let's test it. So let's say week 2 comes around and somebody else is using pack 1. So they're completely deaf and everything's cranked up. And they hated having all this stuff filtered out, so they want just that and the EQ. All right, they changed a lot of stuff. Now nobody wants to come back in the following week. Let's say that I'm back on that, and I want to change all this stuff back because I won't get it exactly right. It's okay. Week is done. We're starting a new week. I'm playing. I'm going to go back to scenes. First thing I do is I'm going to recall this. Now, hit recall. Boom. You see my faders went right back to normal, and if you look at my EQ, it's right back to where it was, but nothing else changed. Mix 2 didn't change. Everything is identical to where I left it. Okay, so we can do the same thing for mix 2. So let's go even more extreme here. So I'm going to use mix 2 as the example. Somebody else is playing again, and again they want it cranked, right? And they hate having their ears bleed, so they pull this way out and they clip the crap out of their mix, right? Something like that. And they like everything extremely loud for some reason. And let's say we're mixing the board, and again, for visualization, I would never do this on a normal week, but everything is down here on your main mix. Even your volume mix is down here a little bit, okay? And we're going to change this EQ for visualization to see that. So this is the way the board was left after Sunday B. Alright, Sunday C comes around, and now John is back on, and before he even plays or plugs in, I'm at the board, whoever's at the board, we can recall his scene here, right? So again, keep an eye on all these because you're going to notice that none of this changes until we get to mix 2. So here's what mix 2 looks like. Here's where the main mix looks like. Alright, let's recall John's mix. Again, nothing changed, but if we go to mix 2, everything's right back to where it was, where he left it, where he likes it, I should say. If I close out, his EQ is back to where he likes it. Look at the EQs here. Notice the changes I made are still here. So again, this saving the scenes and using the scenes as in-ear mix monitors will work, and it's all based off this recall filter. This is the power behind this. You can still do all your other scenes, obviously, and save the whole board, all that stuff. You know, if you saved a scene for the whole board, and you recalled it, it could, if you don't turn these filters off, for your mixes, like that, when you save overall scenes on a Sunday, you could rewrite, you could overwrite the auxes, right? That's not a big deal if you have these saved, because all you have to do is be like, crap, I just wiped out all my mixes. It's okay. I just go back to this and hit go, and it reloads just that aux channel. So I think this is a very powerful and very easy way to save in-ear mixes for people that play a lot, or even don't play all the time, but you know needs to set their ears up quickly on Thursday and at least get back to a 95% setting. Um, so hopefully this is beneficial. Like I said, I was on forums a lot and didn't really see a whole lot of information on how to do this. There's a lot of people frustrated that they couldn't save just the aux channel. But I think we're all just thinking about it from a normal point of view instead of looking at it from the other side of it and using the recall filters for what they are. So hopefully this helps, and get back to positive mixing. See ya.